Yeah. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth of sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To you Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And I was go through my normal day, and I listen to, different brothers' lessons and go, of course, Pastor Tahar's lessons. And then I end up bumping into the elder bro Tazabah a month 3. And basically he was bringing it out, man. So, and this devil is like one of one of my favorite devils besides Trump, man. He in that spirit, man. He in that spirit that all Edomites should be in, man. Right? We need that to crank up on a high level and fast, man. So we can get the heck out of here, man. So they can push in the MOTB, get on that World War, that third woe mentality, right? Which we see is cranking up, right? Because they just said they shot off 200 and something missiles or something. Russia did towards Ukraine, the largest since the war has happened, which is basically almost pretty much the same thing that Iran did towards Israel. So you could see that it's elevating, and they were saying that they went to the next highest degree of war that you can go besides actually shooting off the missiles, right? Which they went into DEFCON 2, which is really that's on the brink of war, right? All out war, because DEFCON 1 is the missiles being shot off. So the Lord is cranking up the temperature, right, so to speak. But one thing you're gonna see also is what Jacob's trouble. And so the elder bro was going into some of that Jacob's trouble, and I want to try to let me back off of that if I can. Lord will, with Lord give me some things to come up and make it edifying, right? Because let all things be done unto edification, right? So Lord willing, let's go ahead and
this speaks to what Jake is going to have to deal with in entirety, right? Right now, it's the so-called, Latinos, but pretty soon it's going to be all 12 tribes, because you got to remember the scriptures tell you that the Lord was going to set up enmity between the woman's seed and the serpent. And that stuff is starting to be pushed out hardcore. Right now, they label the so-called Latinos as a national threat. But wait till they label all 12 tribes.
Yeah. And let me say something real quick on that. Also, is they just had all those foreigners come up and down through the border, but they ain't necessarily mention those foreigners while they're going through all this thing, and they ain't mention the foreigners. So that should be a telltale sign that you're in trouble, right? You're in Jacob's trouble, and it's around the corner, man. Right? It's a telltale sign. all them Chinese, them Africans, all them other people, but they speaking about you, right? So, hey, yeah, like you said, all 12 tribes are going to be in trouble, which ultimately Jacob's trouble is going to be the trouble of the whole entire world, right?
As a national threat. So let's get into this.
Failed American people are not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan, please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time. You let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one witness, one member.
Zero tolerance was interpreted.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent.
That you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their...
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in a car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from
Homan,
his
with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
Yeah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And listen to the elder brother Tazabah. And hey, this small little clip is pretty interesting. You know what I mean? Hey, made me chuckle because this devil is one of those devils, the kind of devils you like, man. The kind that's direct, man. He don't have no quarrels into how he feel, right? Instead of having someone really not say how they feel, but really stabbing you in the back the whole time while they're smiling like, yeah, nah, I'm your friend. I like you. Those be the worst kind, right? But this guy, hey, they're showing you, right? Getting ready to go into these draconian laws and measures, right? So
that stuff is starting to be pushed out hardcore. Right now, they label the so-called Latinos as a national threat. But wait till they label all 12 tribes as a national threat. So let's get into this.
Failed American people are not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan, please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time. You let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one witness, one member.
Zero tolerance was interpreted.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent.
That you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their...
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in a car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father from his family.
Mr. Homan, with all due respect...
Yeah. So, and then another thing that they're talking about is the border, and this thing is going to affect, not just only the northern kingdom, but some of you southern kingdom, man. Dealing, Benjamin, right? The Haitians, right? Because they supposedly, technically, you're so-called undocumented immigrants too. So that's already all that, and this in itself links the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom all together in this thing. And one thing they're not mentioning is all them goddamn Hamites and them Chinese and all them other people, them goddamn Elam, them East Indians and everything that came through there. They ain't mentioning them. They ain't talking about separating them from their children. They talking about you Jakes, you Israelites. You Jakes and you Israelites, right? You southern kingdom and you northern kingdom, you so-called black Hispanic, right? That's who they're talking about, right? Which is going to affect us all in one aspect or another, because using the border as one thing to implement, which that's what Trump was doing last time when he was in office. He was using the border thing, which he ain't even in office yet, but he's going to use the border thing in order to push the IDs. The ID is going to lead into the Caragua, man, right? It's going to be, you got to do a regular ID, then a digital ID, and the digital ID got to turn into this, that, and another. Now you got next, people going to be standing in line to get the Caragma, right? Almost like the poll checks. Like you go to New York. I remember I went to New York, and it used to be you had the poll, the pay tolls, but now you just buy a thing, and the cameras take pictures, and you're charged every month. And you just pay a monthly payment, you know what I mean? Or maybe you set up your credit card so that it takes out every time you drive by. I don't know, but I know most people said that they just bought the monthly joint, so they don't have to worry about it. So when they drive, it just, you know what I mean? Which that took away a job. The pay toll people that used to be there, that took away jobs from people. So this man, listen, they don't care about you Israelites. He's going to show you. Let me try to tap it back just a little bit just to show you this devil. Hey, man.
You ever U.S. citizen parent?
That you recommended family separation,
I recommended zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is when every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in a car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that
Mr.
father from his
Holman, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is it worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
My favorite part. Of course there is. Families can be deported together. You better start packing now.
That's my favorite kind of devil, man. That shit was beautiful. I was driving and heard that. I was like, oh man, hey, man, and that's really for you, Jakes, man. You know what I mean, they're cloaking it behind the law, and then like even what he's saying. You know what? If you think about it, it sounds legitimate. Listen, if any other regular American got arrested, something happened, he had his child, he'll be separated from his child. That's legitimate. It makes sense. But it's a whole thing behind what they're doing when it comes to you, Jakes, man. Right? you Israelites, so to speak, just all together. You, not just the Jakes, you Israelites, right? Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom, right? So all these people are cheering and all this other madness, right? And this lost soul, this Jake, who's trying to support Esau, and he's entangled with the cares of this world, man. Not understanding that, hey, man, the kingdom of heaven suffer violent, and the violent take it by force, man. Right? The scriptures say that through basically through hard times, through perils, shall we get the kingdom, so to speak. Roughly paraphrasing, right? This is Matthew chapter 11, verse 12, and from the days of John the Baptist unto now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violent, and the violent take it by force. See, hey, there's a time that's going to be coming, man. The time of Jacob's trouble, man. Whether you know it or accept it or believe it or not, man. Because it's gonna be in the like the movies used to say, in the theater. The movie's coming out, and it's going to be in a theater near you. But this is going to be coming, and it's going to be in a neighborhood near you. It's going to be at your front door, right? Right? Tanks, guns, riots, right? Your wallet's going to get hit, right? Forcing you to make a decision, right? The hour of temptation, right? The greatest hour, man, right? And a guy that has faith in a system that failed you and was never meant to be for you. The Lord said this place is polluted, and it's polluted in more than one way, and it will destroy you, man. And this place, you're definitely destroyed mentally, spiritually. You don't know what's going on, right? Yeah, so this is Acts chapter 14, verse 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples, right? And that's ultimately what we're doing, man. We're disciples, man. We're students. We're on a day-to-day study, man, right? We're on a day-to-day growth, studying. Students, what they call scholars. A scholar, all it means is you study, right? So we're on a day-to-day studying, growing, right? Right? Trial and error is the greatest teacher, right? Right? And it says, for most people, but this is the time where you don't have a lot of time, right? Our elders, before us, 40 years in they had time where, even when you hear Pastor Har speak about back in the day when they used to teach out there, they used to have lawn chairs and all sorts of things, and what do you say, tables so they could sell incense. Hey, none of that stuff is happening right now. We ain't bringing no lawn chairs. We ain't bringing no women out. This is a time where it's serious. We're out there. We're literally standing upon our feet the whole time, locked into this, man. Right? So confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, that we might, through much tribulation. See, and that's the thing that's coming, man. It's called Jacob's trouble. Through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of power, the Most High Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Shai, man. Basham Rakal Kodash. It's the only way we're going to get there, man. The only way. There ain't no way we could vote our way in. They don't even want to say, hey, Mr. Nice White Man. Hey, Mr. Hey, Mr. Officer Friendly. Hey, Officer Friendly has not been friendly to us, right? You know?
The man is a man's man.
This Jake, you don't know that this nigga gonna be against you too.
Separating families.
My favorite part.
He gonna be against you. He said we can deport the families together, and they don't give a fuck about you tribes, man. They really don't give a fuck about you tribes, and they're about to show it. And a lot of you niggas have sat here and sold out. A lot of you fucking have a lot, especially Jake in the world, man. They fucking believe that this devil is gonna be for their benefit. Somehow his policies out of the blue is gonna fucking positively affect your life, when the entire time of this devil having a rulership and a power over you, he never gave you one thing that you can fully get a benefit from. That they do diversity hires, they put in the law for affirmative action, but at the same time, those diversity hires, they basically, physically, figuratively landlocked you into a role within that company that didn't allow you to fucking grow, just so they could meet the quota, right? Then the schools that you were able to go to, right? The amount of debt they gave you no coaching on things that would actually.
Yeah. The schools that they let you go to have outdated books and things of such nature, right? You know, and like you said, college is a sham. Puts you in debt before you can even get going, before you can get married, so you can provide the type of life that you need for your wife and your family, your children. You know what I mean? Put you in debt for your college, then you turn around and try to put your kids through college, and then you go in debt again, trying to put your kids through college. This is a cycle of madness, man. Right? Like they say, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It is madness. It's crazy. You're insane, right? Yeah, he's speaking about school system, but he's more talking about like I said, college and this and that. But I remember the movie. I had to look it up. A movie, Light It Up, when they basically took hostage of the school or whatever. They were just trying to basically protest, but then there was a police officer that came in. He thought they were trying to do whatever. He pulled out his gun. The cop accidentally got shot. So now this involves this innocent protest ends up turning into a officer shooting, right? So now it's a lot bigger, deeper than what it was meant to be, right? And so, and this shows you how Esau's playing with this thing, right? This is the AI whatever, and it's saying that the Light It Up 99, the 1999 movie about high school students hostage crisis may be based on the true story. Now, let me hit that again, and when I go through. See, once I go through again, the exact same movie is a fictional account of high school hostage crisis that may say that some say it's based on a real life event. A group of students in Queens, right, accidentally shot, basically group of kids over A group of high school students in Queens took over their school after a police officer is accidentally shot. The only thing about this, they're not. See, earlier they were saying exactly what it was about too. It was about them having, not having books, right? Not having, the right type of material. The books, outdated books, is why they were protesting, right? Yeah. So this proves freaking Esau, man. This is light it up. This is the typical story of a group of high school students, and nothing's typical about this, man. You're talking about people living in the in the ghettos, the barrios, the reservation. You're in these low conditions that they don't really give a damn about you, and even to the point that they're telling you that it's a fictional story. Then say that no, it is a real story. Well, some say it's a real story, right? This is the great freaking AI, the great what is it? The time of knowledge increasing. You mean Esau, who searches out all things to know all these? You don't know if it was real or fake or this and that, right? But here it is though. But it says and nothing's typical about this. It's typical story of a group of high school students who forms a protest when they become fed up with their school poor conditions after a shot is accidentally fired, a police officer is wounded, right? The resulting standoff results in a media frenzy, right? So it kind of supposed to got the attention, not in that manner that they want to get attention, because of course the thing was about the books, and then they're in the dead of winter and there's no heat. So with outdated books and no heat, how can you learn? Right? That's what it was mostly about. But a lot of people ain't even thinking about that. Like Jakes is, forget about all these different things. And supposedly that's why you're supposed to make these movies so it's out there. But, people are not even, this is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, the ass his master's crib, but Israel, right, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, doeth not consider. Salakia. Let me do it one more time. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, the ass his master's crib, and crib meaning house, right? Know where you live at, know where you come from, where you grew up from, where your morals and your scruples are supposed to come from, things you're supposed to stand on, man. You're supposed to be unmovable in this thing, right? Right? Being in righteousness, truth, righteousness, sincereness, right? Right? You got to stand on that, right? But Israel doeth not know, my people do not consider. So this guy's not even considering, man. Right? You're not considering all the things and the miseducation and the old books and all these different things. And in college, like I was saying earlier, you pay for college, you put you in debt, and maybe somehow, some way you get yourself out of debt. But then you turn around, and you have to put yourself back in debt to get your children through college. Right? And then you may try to take on that so they don't have debt, right, when they leave college. But sometimes things happen to where you're so far in they have to get and collectively get their own debt also. So now you got generation with all this debt, right? It says a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquities, right? Voting for whatever candidate, right? That's still iniquity, man. We're not supposed to have a king over us that's not of our people, man. Right? Eating shrimp, crab, lobster, pork, all these abominable things, smoking cigarettes, right? Your women dress in a man's apparel, a man's dressed in a woman's apparel. These are all sins, man. Right? It says, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters, right? See? And in this place is so corrupted, you become corrupters, right? You're corrupting the young youth. Either we're the black American, and then we the niggas, right? And then they'll even throw a difference. Well, there's a difference between a black American and a nigga, and they be like, yeah, we niggas, and y'all the black Americans. And so everybody got this pride in this folly and this corruption, right? And you even try to corrupt your kids into being gangbangers, drug dealers, or some simp dude who believes in the system, man. Right? The elder brother was speaking about a succubus, man, and that's kind of what this system is, man. They're gonna suck the life out of you, man. Right? The common sense out of a lot of you jakes. You don't. That's why listen. You don't even consider. Right? He says right? They have forsaken Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger, and they are gone away. What? Backwards, man. That's an asshole backwards type of situation to be in when this people have raped, robbed, murdered you, put you in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, put you in low condition, and yeah, you might be one or two Jakes that might be Michael Jordan's son, or all these other athletes. You might be their children, so you never experienced it. But for the most regular Jakes, you've had these outdated books, or you have schools. You got outdated books, and hey, I remember when they just used to just pass you on. They just pass you to the next grade. They don't know if you really actually. They didn't really make sure you knew how to read and do all these different things. They just passed you on to the next grade and chalked it up as No Child Left Behind. Right? Yeah. So let's go ahead and see what else the brother had to bring out real quick.
Strictly for your judgment, your punishment. Because Jake is disobedient to the Lord in every single way, man. This is Deuteronomy 28:50. It says, start at 49. It says, Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, right? From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. And what is the national bird for the Roman Empire and the American Empire? The eagle. Right? A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Because when Esau really began to take hold of this earth and run through, right, wherever the tribes were, they were speaking a tongue that you had never heard. You didn't know it. They weren't speaking Hebrew like you knew. They weren't speaking the Assyrian script. They were speaking an entire different thing. Right? It says, verse 50, it says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor will show favor to the young. He don't care about deporting children away from their parents. He doesn't care about deporting a parent away from the children. He just wants to get them out of there. And he told you what should they do about families? Is he okay with them being separated? He said, hey, just as much as they're separated with the American families are separated from their kids when they break laws, same thing for them. He don't care. Right? He don't care. It's wicked as hell.
Right. So yeah, like the brother was saying. So let me add into what the brother was saying. It's Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people. So what you're understanding is this is the curses, right? Just because you're so-called Latino, and it seemed like they've bent over backwards and did a couple of things here for you, put you down as Caucasian, you still got put in the vadios, right? They still look at you like you're nothing. And then right now, after all those other immigrants came from other countries, all these other places, their whole thing is to mostly aim at you, right? Because you're the Israelite, so-called Mexicans, so-called Colombians, so-called Venezuelans. You're the Israelites, right? Right along with you Haitians and Jamaicans, right? Which are part of the Southern Kingdom, right? Right? And they're gonna add in some of you ones who's already U.S. citizens, right? Because they've done that, right? Guy fought for the U.S. Everything. Was part of the military and still got sent back to Mexico. So there's a lot of things about to ensue and take place, but they don't have a problem with separating you from your children, because this is a tactic that Esau's always done, right? And he feel like it gave him the victory before, right? What you do is you just it's a thing called repackaging or renaming it. You just put it under a different name, a different thing, and you make it look like you're doing it for the betterment of good, so people can say, hey, they do have the right to do that. Pretty much kind of like what they're doing over there in in the Israeli land, right? So-called they had an attack, which we don't know if those people actually did it. They could have faked it just so they can bring it, so they could bring doing what they're doing. We don't know if that was fake or ensued, or someone paid someone off to shoot and do all that. Whatever happened, we don't know the whole backstory behind it, right? But this is how they get down, in a lot of cases. But yeah, they ain't caring about your children. Your sons and daughters will be given to another people, right? Which is the curses. This is the Most High saying that. And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, right? You ain't gonna have no strength in you. Right? Okay, we're the police, we're the authority, we're this, we're that. You ain't nothing you could do, right? And thus shall be, and there shall be no might in thy hand. See, these are the police, the authority. There's no might in your hand, right? It says the fruit of thy land and all thy labors, right? It's going into you so-called, Native Americans, you Native Mexicans, because right, Mexico, Arizona, and was it Arizona, Texas, well, New Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, California was part of all Mexico, But what happened? The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which does know it's not eat up. Right? So all the gold and all the things that were found and what was it? They had that right? A lot of things happened 1940, 49. That's where you get the 49ers, right? San Francisco 49ers, that gold rush. So now and around that 40, right? But I think that was a different 49. But while they have that, the 49ers, but it was basically part of that gold rush. I don't know if it was 1749 or 1849, something like that. But hey, it's crazy, right? But they had a great gold rush in California, which technically was part of Mexico. So all that gold and everything that they found and all that stuff, right, which they heaped it unto themselves, right, should be part of either so-called Mexico or even these Native Americans. They took what all belonged to and ate it up, right? Now California's just catching on fire for no reason, right? Well, it says a reason. It's called judgment, but you know, to the average mind, it says which knoweth not, eat up, and thus shall be only oppressed and crushed always, right? So skip down real quick, just to add to the brother. It says, and thus shall begot sons and daughters, but thus shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. So these people just grabbing up your children, separating you from the families, and they don't give a damn. This is part of their MO. This is what they've done. They've been doing this, man. It's nothing new under the sun. Right? So yeah, so once they're taking them into these concentration camps, right, which would be a way of captivity in a sense, right? They don't give a damn. Or like he said, hey, we'll just put you all into a concentration camp. Or we'll take you all and deport you and put you somewhere. But really, it ain't really about them deporting you. Because we're going to come in a time of these concentration camps and FEMA camps, right? Rehabilitation camps, which that's what they did to Gad, right? They called them Indian schools at the time. They took them somewhere else, taught them English, cut their hair, re-educated them, and this is things that they've done before. Now they're going to re-educate you on smart cities, get in the charagma, whether you buy or sell to save your own life. What are you going to be down? Or you just what are you going to be get put to death? Right? Now it ain't got to that point yet, because first it's going to be volunteer, and then it's going to be mandatory. Right? Step in like Biden, because you got to think of who was he talking about when Biden said we're getting tired, we're tired of waiting. Who is the we? He's talking about the elite, right? But yeah, and matter of fact, I got one more. Right, so that's just part of his MO, man. He's always been that way, right? We're just gonna prove it right here in Deuteronomy 25. I'm gonna start at 17 though. The point is in 18, but it says, remember what Amalek, right, which is the grandson of Esau, which he's an Edomite, right, a descendant of Esau, right, did unto thee by the way when ye were come out when you came forth out of Egypt, right? We were just barely coming out of Egypt. We just wanted to pass through the land, get in and get to the land that the Lord promised us. The Lord already said that we weren't going to be able to take their land, They were all jumpy and afraid, angry, didn't like us anyway. You know, that deep hatred, right? Basically showed up. You know, that the hatred that his father had for our father was deeply seated within them. It says how he might met thee by the way and smote the hindermost of thee. Right? See, this is the part where I'm saying this is this guy's MO. Right? So like the elder bro was saying, they don't care about your children. They don't care about you. Right? They don't care about the elderly. They don't care about anything. They care about their agenda, pushing forth their agenda. Right? Because a lot of them, they understand, especially the elite. They know what reincarnation is. Right? And if they can just lock this thing in the way that they want to, push the charagma, you know, they're hoping that they can get, everyone, you know, their thing is to get everyone, including the elect, right? But, we know that that's not possible. But their thing is they're trying to make it possible because their thing is we get everybody micro C hipped up, even through reincarnation, we can keep our rulership, right? So this is this guy's agenda. So he's gonna attempt, and he has no new tricks, right? Like I said, most of the time they just repackage it, right? You rename it, you put it in a different guise, a clause, say all the treaties this devil's broken, treaty after treaty, or law, right? He breaks his own laws, right? This is how he met thee by the way and smote the hindermost of thee, even all that were feeble. See, so little children, that's like another way of saying feeble. A child can't protect themselves like that. It's feeble. It's easy. It's nothing, right? Behind thee, and when thus was faint, right, and weary, right? You got older people, right? The older people are faint. They're weary. Come up behind and get the weaker people, the women, the children, the elderly, right? So there's this guy he's the same devil that he's always been, going all the way back, right? From the time we came out of Egypt, right? Right? So there's nothing new under the sun. It says the feeble behind thee, and when thus what was weak, faint and weak, and he feared not the power. He feared not power, right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He didn't fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Which where do you think he's at now when he's coming up with laser weapons and drones and all sorts of satellites and things that they feel like that they can come against the Prince of Princes, man, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. They planned on coming against Yahweh Shai, man, and you. So how much more should you not understand that this devil don't care about you, right? Let me get back over here. Let's see what the brother got to say.
Being separated, he said, hey, just as much as they're separated with the American families are separated from their kids, when they break laws, same thing for them. He don't care. Right? He don't care. It's wicked as hell to split up a family. And these devils are ready to do it. They don't care no more. They're about to, what they see is their kingdom and their rulership falling. So they're going to address that by what? Coming down on you tribes. They're going to address it by coming down on the tribes, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2. Going into the mind of the wicked, Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 10. It says, let us oppress the poor and righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. They don't care about age. They don't care how old you are, how young you are. They will sit here and put out the full state of the law. Remember, the scriptures talk about they had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. That draconian law is that speaking as a dragon, right? That strict law, and that dude promotes that mind of strict law. Let me get something. The Athenian law, Draco was a lawgiver in ancient Rome, an Athenian lawgiver, right? And this dude got that same pompous, grave ass stare, man. He looked like him, man. This dude just looked like an older version of this guy. And he coming in that same spirit. He go, whenever there's a need, he's going to sit here and put down a hammer. They're not going to care, man. This was Solomon 2 and 10. It says, let us oppress the poor and righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. They're going to use the entire extent of this American law to put Jake in just the fucking purest of hells, right? Just a constant state of worry and need and fear. Amos 1.
Right. So this is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe, which means destruction. Right. Judgment, death. Right. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right. Ultimately, right. The ICBM missiles. Right. It's going to come. The ultimate death. Right. The Lord's sword. Ultimately, the weeping and gnashing of teeth shall come. But, there's many ways you're gonna perish or die and get your punishment, right? So it says, woe unto them that declare unrighteous decrees, right? Which are laws, right? Decrees that they write into law, right? And that's pretty much what the brother was saying. They're going to use the full extent of the law to do what they need to do, to bring in the NWO, the New World Order, right? The Charagma, Crocs, Grapho, to make it all part of your life, your everyday life, if you survive, right? They planned on knocking off at least 7.5 billion people, according to the Georgia Guidestones, which they destroyed, right? Because they wanted to get under 500 million or something like that. 500 million or so, right? Because it's about 8 billion people. It's about 8 billion people on the planet. In order to get it to 500 million or whatever, you would have to kill about 7.5 billion people is what in the sense of what they're saying by that. I don't know how to declare the number the right way. I don't know if it's 500 million. I think it's 500 million, right? Right, yeah. I believe it's 500 million, right? Yeah, con. So you would have to kill off 7, which would be about, yeah. I think 500 million is about half of a billion, right? Which that's telling you that's their their elect, right? On the right hand side. I mean on the left hand side, Slovakia. Hey. Slip of the tongue but not of the heart, Slovakia. But yeah, that's the on the left hand side, that's their elect, bringing it all the way down, right? To 500 million, So yeah, that's what it is, Slovakia. It says and that right grievousness which they prescribe. So what are they doing? They're writing laws, right? Because they said they're a Bible believing country, and they've always been going all the way back to the so-called founding fathers. Well, you don't need a what do you call it? You don't need a constitution if you uphold the Bible. If you know what I'm saying, you don't need all the other things. The only thing you'd have to add in is, of course, you had cars, so you had to add in the traffic laws. But every other law, everything else you deal with is in the scriptures, right? Adultery, thieving, right? Man with man, woman with woman. It's all the judgments is all in the scriptures, right? Someone lay down with an animal, that's in there. You lay down with your mother-in-law, your daughter-in-law. Those are the judgment is in the scriptures, right? What you should eat, what you should do, this land Sabbaths, right? How you you're supposed to have how you're supposed to have a welfare a true welfare program is, yeah, you leave the stuff on the thing after you pull your crops, right? You leave some gleaning grapes. You leave some fruit on the tree, and that way they're able to get that. But just sitting back at home, collecting a check, doing nothing, nah, we won't gonna be doing that, right? Having people sit in prison for years and years and years, where taxpayers pay money. No, hey, he killed somebody, he died, right? You did anything else? Hey, you got to pay, even if you got to pay with you going into slavery or what is it called, servitude under that person until it's paid off. All those things are there, man, right? It says turn aside. See, and ultimately that's what's coming, man. They're gonna use these draconian measures, these laws, like the big bro was saying, right? To not care about the old, the young, right? Bring in what they want to bring in, to turn aside the needy from judgment, right? And the judgment he's talking is righteous judgment, not their kind of judgment, right? You're turning them aside from righteous judgment. It's only a person's right to be able to live, drink clean water, eat food that actually nourishes you, right? It's only your right to be able to defend what belongs to you, right? If need be. And like the scriptures say, live peaceable with all men if it's possible. That's your right. Besides, if you're not an Israelite, it's not really necessarily your job to keep the law, statutes, commandments, and the faith of Yahweh Shai. But if you are Israelite, that's all you're to do. Keep the law, statutes, commandments, the faith of Yahweh Shai, and live peaceable with all men if it's possible. But if you got to defend yourself, that's it. That's your right as a human being to be able to eat good food, breathe in clean air, and drink clean water. But under this devil, you can't do that, right? And then he's gonna turn you off from righteous judgment, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and take away the right? See, hey, you're supposed to have all these rights under America. They're gonna take away all your rights. You're gonna have no rights, right? Through these draconian measures, which they already did. They basically already signed it over to the. Dang, I need to remember what that thing is called. But basically, they signed everything over and gave the UN power over the United States. Because this is not even in the United States anymore. Technically, it's not. I mean, but you're gonna find out. Take away the rights of the poor, right? Of my people, that the widow, right? You women, right? A lot of you women without husband, right? So you basically, in a sense, you're like a widow, even though you rolled the CC carousel, jumping from rod to rod, like the elder always say, monkey branching over men's private parts. You've been jumping from, but you're just what, you don't have no husband, so you're clearly going to be taken advantage of, right? Just like I read earlier, it came to the hindermost of Israel, and unto the feeble, the weak, the ones that's easy, men, women, children, ones that were fainting and weak, right? Right? That the widow may be their prey. See, it's easy to go after a woman, a little child, separate them. And if they come and then do say, hey, mom, whatever, send them back together. But at some point, they're going to probably most likely get separated anyway. Because that's what you do. You separate them, either re-educate them or you separate and you kill them. I mean, that's the same thing they did to Gad. They separated them. Right? And then these devils got a pompous way of doing their things. Like, they even got a street out here in Phoenix called Indian School. Well, where do you think the word, where'd that come from? From them actually sending the Indians to a school, but for re-educational purposes, right? To cut off their hair, not let them speak their dialect of Hebrew that they were speaking, make them speak English or Spanish or Portuguese or wherever they came from. These devils, wherever they came from, that's what they forced on the people, right? That's why in Haiti, they're speaking French. While just on the same exact island, the Dominicans, right, which is Simeon, right? The Haitians are Levite, the Dominicans are Simeon, and they speak Spanish, and these dudes speak French on the same island. They're brothers, but they speak, which allows you to know that, hey, the Lord said he was going to send a nation against you who language or tongue you did not understand, you didn't know. That proves that they're the Israelites, right? That in itself. Where else do you have that in the world? Literally on the same landmass. And they're going to separate it because we speak Spanish and we speak this, and you want freedom and we don't. And so because you want freedom, the Edomites are totally against you, and so they're decimating you, and we don't want that. We're gonna kiss the white man's ass so we can have some sense of of a good life. But then, hey, Esau's gonna turn on you too, right? Because that the widow may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. See, when you're taking little children away from, what are they now? Like the guy was telling them, hey, if a guy came, he was having domestic violence, and I take him away from his family, now what is that child? He's fatherless, right? If they come in so-called illegally, like they say, and you take that man from his child and separate the child and put him somewhere else, and the father somewhere else, or either you kill him or you lock him up for a very long time, or maybe you just send him back to Mexico or is it Venezuela or wherever you trying to send him back to, but then you leave the child here, or the child goes somewhere else, or he comes up missing, he be on Epstein Island somewhere, right? Because just because Epstein is gone, that don't mean his island ain't functioning, or some other island that's just like it ain't functioning, right? Now that child is still fatherless. So what do you think these devils are about? They're not for you. They're not for your turn. Hey, and like the scripture says, well, neither are we for their turn, right? As the brother was kind of, I think he was in that same verse, I believe, right? And this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 12. It says, therefore, let us lay in wait. See, and that's their mentality, man. To lay in wait, right? They're laying for traps, right? And a lot of the traps are through laws, to penal codes, right? They'll set up so-called penal codes and pass whatever type of law, whatever. But those all end up being snares. Like one time I was watching some video, and they had just passed, because they pass these laws all the time, and even the police ain't not even up on all the laws. And so there was one gentleman, I guess he actually knew some things. So he said, you didn't know that section such and such, and then the cop was like, that's not true. So he ended up having to call his supervisor, because he was trying to arrest the guy, and then so he kept harassing the guy, the cop was, and then he had to finally call his superior and say, well, this guy's telling me about blah 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 blah. And they come to find out what the guy was saying was true, because they're passing laws all the time. So not even the police are up on all the law, because that's what they use. They use these laws to lay for what these snares and traps amongst the people. It says, therefore, let us lay in wait for the righteous, right? And that's supposed to be you so-called Black, Hispanic, and you're supposed to take pride in being righteous, but a lot of you don't. And he is not for our turn. See, so because what it is we as the hopeful elect, Lord willing, we will be the elect. We're not for their rulership, because look at it. You put chemtrails in the air, pollution in the ocean, pollution in out. This proves that you're not worthy of rulership. Isn't this pollution in outer space, man? Hey, man. If you're not the devil, then who is, man? It's crazy. Like the scripture says, he cover the faces of the judges thereof. If not, and where who is this devil who turned around and turned the truth into a lie, right? That thing that they may worship the creature more than the creator, right? Which really that was Jake doing that, but Esau's doing that too, right? That's because when he taking those images down, or was iconicalism, saying, no, the Lord looks like this, looks like him, a leprous man, a clean leopard, which clearly is going off, right? Long hair, which that's going off, because even the Apostle Paul, which I know these other Jakes don't like that, that a man should not have. It's a shame for a man to have long hair, right? Which it is. You ever seen somebody in the mall or the thing, and you look at a chick and you be like, ooh, or you think it's a chick because the hair is long. You be like, oh shit, look at this, look at that. What's that over there? And it's because the back is turned towards you, long hair, and then you go to walk and see what the face look like, and you turn and you finally get around, and it's a dude, but from behind with the long, it looked like a woman. You like, oh, it's a shame to you. But yeah, let me keep going because I can go on forever. This is because he is not for our turn. And we're not for that turn because this is not a righteous society. They don't do land Sabbath. They don't do the Jubilee, right? Where they can turn the wealth back into the people. All they doing is hoarding all the wealth, where the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. And then they say, hey, you're just gonna accept it. You're gonna have nothing but be happy. You know why? Because with all the murder, the death, and the killing that's gonna happen, you're gonna be happy to be in a place where you could somewhat be safe. While you're getting cancer coming out of your hand or in your brain, because you got this goddamn thing in you in order for you to buy and sell, right? So, hey, and this is what we're doing. Yeah, he's not for our turn. So you think if we're not for their turn, do you think that they're for our turn? Because Esau's the end of this world, right? Which that's what they're coming into, and that's what the elder brother's saying. He's saying they're gonna do anything they can do to try to keep their kingdom going. So obviously, we're telling them, look, we're the Israelites. We got next. We're the next reigning power. You think they say, hey, you know what? Here, you know what? Y'all let's just bow down. Tell all the nations to just bow down and like Putin did, right? We're gonna from now on pray to a black. Well, if you're gonna do that, then you need to put away all your weapons, do all the other things, and actually bow down. Turn all your things over unto the so-called black people that lives in Russia, and let them run it. He ain't gonna do it. So that was all phony, fictitious, man. You're still the devil, man, that the Bible speaks of, man. Right? They ain't gonna do it because they ain't for our turn. So what happens is the Lord has to come and take it, man. Right? They can just give it over, which they should, but they're not going to, according to scriptures, right? Prophecy has to play out. It has to be taken, right? The kingdom of heaven suffer violent, and the violent take it by force. And hey, there's nobody more violent than Yahweh Shai, because he is like his father, and the Yahweh is a man of war, man. And what do you think Yahweh Shai is, man? He wants some war, and he wants some get back, man. He wants to show you, hey, man. He hey, man. He really stump you out, man, like them grapes. That's why you use that as a metaphor of getting busy on you, man. So it says, and he is clean contrary to our doing. See, the so-called white man's doing it is freaking totally contrary to what the scriptures say, contrary to what the Bible, contrary to just nature in itself, right? Right? You wouldn't even so-called, the nature believes in the Most High. The nature knows the Most High's name. The Most High knows nature's spirit, right? Because it all comes from the Most High. The ants, everything, every little thing is has a spirit of the Most High in it. But let's just say these people don't believe in God. Like the scripture tell you, hey, even nature shows you that the Most High exists. But let's just say all these different things. You don't even need anything. It could just show you that, look, you're against everything. The pollution, you're against nature. You're against the things that's beneficial to you. Clean water is beneficial to you. Why would you pollute the water and put toxic waste and all sorts of madness in the water Like, that's crazy. Fluoride in your water. I mean, it just don't make no sense, right? Destroy the people who's meant to be your slaves. This guy poisoned his. What kind of master you poison your slaves? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're clean contrary to their doing. He is upbraided of us. He upbraideth us, right? And that's what we're doing. We're waving the finger in the gates of the noble, man. We telling you, hey man, you're doing a lot of wrong, man. You're doing a lot of wrongdoing, and there's judgment gonna come. We're upbraideth them, right? Like chastise them. They're little children. So, the Lord sent the prophets to come out and chastise them, to upbraid them with our offering of the law. See, this is how they. With our offending of the law, right? So this is how they do. They offend the Most High's laws, the land Sabbaths, right? Constantly tilling the ground, giving you some GMO food and calling it food, and then jacking the price up on it, right? It's crazy. With braided us with our offending the law, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's law, and objective to our infirmity, infamy, the transgressions of our education. See, the educational system here is absolutely atrocious, man. You don't learn nothing, and that's pretty much what the brother was going into too, about the educational system. You pretty much you learn nothing, and then they you learn how to just be a slave, right? Government goes into the word government goes into mind control. So this is all the government is set up. This government is here set up for to just mind control you into basically sinning against the Most High and do it thy will, right? And it, and then what education goes into to drawing out what's in, and a lot of you are wicked, man. So what draws out of you is a lot of wickedness that Esau's taught you since the time you were young, lying, stealing, killing, all these things that they just put forth in America, man. Yeah. So basically, education just draws out what's in the Esau's inward thoughts is that his kingdom should go on forever. His inward thoughts is wickedness, man. It draws out his education, just draws out wickedness, and even the things that he taught you, which were lies, right? So, like I said, the murder, the killing, right? Because that's how he educated you, through TV, through the music, educated you through these ways. And then, of course, the educational system in itself, like the big bro was saying, it just leaves you in debt. You leave your children in debt, and you learn a bunch of nothing, right? So with all that, I'm going to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Baruch HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Bible ball.